Hi guys, Mr. P's here. Welcome to week 7, lesson 2. Today's focus point is on reading the poetry text and doing some quite superficial kind of retrieval stuff about it, just to begin to build up on our understanding, and a few pre-reading tests to build up on some slightly unfamiliar vocabulary as well. Okay. So today we're going to read an extract, a part of the poem Still I Rise by a brilliant poetess, Maya Angelou. So she was an American poet, singer, memoirist, and civil rights activist. She published 7 autobiographies, 3 books of essays, several books of poetry, and is credited with a list of plays, movies, and television shows spanning over 50 years. Still I Rise, the poem we're looking at today, is from Angelou's 1978 poetry collection, And Still I Rise, a book of poems. So, going straight in for it, you're going to want to write this definition down to see aware of it. Sassiness. Brilliant word, frequently used really in a modern context. What it means is, 1, to be rude and disrespectful, but also to be over or self-confident. It also means to be lively and spirited, so kind of full of life. So with that definition in mind, which sentence uses the word sassiness correctly? A, her sassiness made her fun to be around. She was loud, positive, and oh so confident. Or B, her sassiness made her fun to be around. She was very quiet, kept to herself, and didn't like to voice her opinion. Okay, answers at the end of the lesson. Number 2, can you write your own sentence including the word sassiness? So pause the video now, decide whether A or B is the correct use of sassiness, and then write your own sentence trying to include the word sassiness. Okay, second word today. You've probably heard of derivations of this word, but the word is hatefulness. You might know it as hateful or hate as well. That comes from that kind of stem word itself. So to display hatefulness is full of or expressing hate. Malignant, malevolent, a hateful, denunciatory speech. So you speak in a way that shows hatred towards somebody else, some other group, some other person. So with that definition in mind, number 1, which 3 of the following are synonyms of hatefulness? Bitterness, joyful, malignity, spite, happiness, or kindness. Number 2, is the following use of hatefulness correct? He uttered all his hatefulness in a vile speech that offended the audience. Okay, so if you could pause the video now and just write down your responses to 1 and 2, please. Okay, answers at the end. All right. So I'm going to read you now the first 6 stanzas of Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. It's a slightly longer poem, but I've just given you the core extract of it itself, okay? Of course, if you want to reread it, you can pause the video afterwards and go back through the slides to have a look at it itself. So, Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Because I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes? Shoulders falling down like teardrops weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, because I laugh like I got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me up with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Okay, I feel like we are confronted there with a particular type of person. The speaker is someone who clearly has certain views, clearly a very strong person in that respect, but just to kind of build up a bit of comprehension itself, all I'd like you to do in your books or wherever you're noting down your work is just true or false. There are 5 statements there. Just write numbers 1 to 5 in the margin and just write true or false next to each of them, and I'll go for the answers afterwards, okay? Number 1, the speaker in the poem gives up easily. Remember, you can go back to the poem now to check to see if you agree with that statement, true or false. Number 2, 3 good words to describe the speaker are confident, resilient, and brave. So true or false for that one. Number 3, the speaker sees their confidence as a form of wealth. True or false for that one. Number 4, the speaker will never give in to hatred. True or false. Number 5, the speaker will resurrect after death. Okay, so pause the video now, true or false for those, and we'll go through the answers in a minute or so. So, for those of you, okay, for some peculiar reason, the screen is not fitting the text on this particular slide, which is somewhat irritating. So, if you look at the PDF on this thing, there is optional tasks for you to do. Okay, it's completely optional, but there are some icons around it: characters, mood, language, and inference. What I'd like you to do is answer the questions below that you can only see half of, and when going through it itself. The first one: how does the speaker of the poem use language to create a sense of strength? Second, what is the effect of repeating the phrase "still I rise" throughout the poem? Third one, who do we infer the speaker is directing a poem towards? And the fourth one, what do you think is the mood of the poem? Okay, apologise for that slightly unaligned situation there itself. But in essence, look at the PDF for what the actual questions are. And if you'd like to do the optional extras, then please do. Okay, so answers to the pre-reading vocab. Of course, for sentence A is the correct example of sassiness. Sassiness made her fun to be around. She was loud, positive, and oh so confident. There's a self-confidence, possibly an overconfidence there. There's also a liveliness, and therefore sassiness is accurately used. Number 2, if you have used it to can you write your own sentence, including the word sassiness? If you've used it to conjure an image of somebody who displays any word of the definition, i.e. rude and disrespectful, self-confident, lively, or spirited, then you've used it correctly. Hatefulness. So which of the 3 are synonyms of hatefulness? Bitterness, malignity, and spite were the 3 correct answers. And the following sentence, is hatefulness used correctly? He uttered all his hatefulness in a vile speech that offended the audience. Yes, it is correctly used, as it conveys the bitterness of the speech itself and an implied sense of venom that's coming from the speaker. In terms of true or false, the first one is true. I'm sorry, not my mistake. The first one is false. The speaker in the poem gives up easily. That's false. There's a real resilience to the actual speaker itself, which makes the second one true. 3 good words to describe the speaker are confident, resilient, and brave. Absolutely true. They do not give up easily, so therefore they are resilient. They're able to rebound and reflect in the face of enmity or hatred from others. Third one, the speaker sees their confidence as a form of wealth. It's true. It talks about oil wells and gold in order to explain the characteristics of this very confident speaker. Fourth one, the speaker will never give in to hatred. It's true. Just need to look at the final stanza of the extract that we read to indicate that. 5, the speaker will resurrect after death. That's actually false. Whilst it says that, it's actually a metaphor. The idea that actually that sense of freedom and strength will go beyond that person's death, even if they are killed. Okay, sorry there's like fluff up there, guys, regarding that one itself, on that slide that was randomly placed on the screen, but hopefully you got the core ideas from it anyway. So, lovely to touch base with you again, and I shall see you tomorrow.